The Judean sun is merciless, but it is not the heat that empties the street. It is a sound, a rhythmic, hollow clanking, a bell tied to a walking corpse. Before you even see him, you hear the voice. It is hoarse, ruined by disease and thirst, mandated by ancient law to shout a single, terrifying word. Unclean. Unclean. Watch what happens next. The street does not just clear, it panics. Mothers grab their children and press themselves against the stone walls of the houses. Merchants abandon their stalls. Men reach to the ground. They pick up stones. They do not pick up stones to kill him. They pick up stones to enforce the distance. The Mishnah, the oral tradition of the rabbis, was very clear. You must stay 4 cubits away from a leper. If the wind was blowing, that distance stretched to 100 cubits. And if a leper stepped over the invisible line, the rabbis said you were entirely justified in throwing stones to drive them back. Keep your distance. Stay in your quarantine. Do not bring your death anywhere near our life. This is the world of the untouchables, a world governed by a ruthless, terrifying math. Purity is fragile. Impurity is contagious. If the clean touches the unclean, the clean becomes defiled. That is the rule. That has always been the rule, until a carpenter from Nazareth walks down the road. This is not a story about medical history. This is not a story about ancient cleanliness laws. This is not a story about a holy teacher keeping his distance. This is a story about a God who refuses to be quarantined away from your brokenness. You have probably read the stories of Jesus healing people. He speaks words, and storms stop. He issues a command, and fever breaks. He has the power to heal from miles away. But if you watch closely, if you pay attention to the exact moments when the religious laws screamed at him to step back, he does something entirely unnecessary. He reaches out his hand. He touches the untouchables. And when he does, he shatters the most fundamental laws of his society. He does not just heal them. He rewrites the laws of purity right in front of them, reversing the flow of contagion forever. The book of Leviticus, chapter 13, lays it out with cold, clinical precision. A person with an infectious skin disease must wear torn clothes. They must let their hair remain unkempt. They must cover the lower part of their face and cry out, "Unclean! Unclean!" As long as they have the disease, they remain unclean. They must live alone. They must live outside the camp. Isolation. Absolute, crushing isolation. Not for a week, not for a month, often for a lifetime. You lose your family. You lose your temple. You lose the touch of another human being. Now, put yourself in the dirt at the feet of Jesus in the first chapter of Mark's Gospel. A man covered in leprosy breaks the 4-cubit rule. He pushes past the stones. He falls to his knees. He does not demand healing. He just states a fact. "Lord, if you are willing, you can make me clean." Look at the phrasing. Not make me well. Make me clean. Restore my humanity. Give me back my family. Jesus is surrounded by crowds. The disciples are watching. The religious leaders are taking notes. The safest thing to do, the holy thing to do, is to step back and speak a word of healing. Keep the law intact. Instead, Jesus does the unthinkable. Mark tells us Jesus was filled with compassion. He reached out his hand, and he touched the man. The Greek word used here is haptomai. It does not mean an accidental brush in a crowded market. It means to attach oneself to cling to deliberately, physically connect. Jesus, the perfectly pure Son of God, intentionally connects himself to the most contagious, ritually defiled man in Judea. The crowd must have gasped. By the law of Moses, Jesus is now unclean. The impurity should have transferred to him. Here's what most people miss. The leprosy leaves the man immediately. He is clean. The purity of Jesus did not shatter upon contact with disease. It invaded the disease. Under the Old Covenant, impurity was contagious. But here in the dust, Jesus introduces a terrifying new paradigm. His purity, his tahor, in Hebrew, is the most contagious force in the universe. His holiness infects our brokenness. Our brokenness does not infect him. But this is only the beginning. The stakes are about to climb. Enter Jairus. You can almost feel the frantic energy radiating off him. We are in the 5th chapter of Mark now. Jairus is a synagogue leader. He is a man of status, of wealth, of impeccable ritual purity. He is the establishment, and he is desperate. His 12-year-old daughter is dying. Jairus throws himself at the feet of Jesus, begging him to come to his house and place his hands on the girl. Jesus agrees. The crowd surges forward, pressing in from all sides. A holy rabbi is on his way to heal the daughter of a religious VIP. It is an urgent mission. Every second counts. And then, the procession stops. Jesus turns around in the crush of bodies. He asks a question that makes no sense. Who touched my clothes? His disciple Peter, ever the pragmatist, looks at him like he has lost his mind. You see the people crowding against you, and yet you can ask, who touched me? But Jesus knows what Peter does not. Power has gone out from him. Someone has deliberately drawn from his well. Down in the dirt, terrified and trembling, is a woman. Luke, the physician who wrote the gospel bearing his name, tells us her medical history with brutal honesty. She has been subject to bleeding for 12 years. She has suffered a great deal under the care of many doctors. She has spent everything she had, yet instead of getting better, she grew worse. But her physical agony is only half the story. The book of Leviticus, chapter 15, declares that a woman with a discharge of blood is in a state of niddah ritual impurity. Anything she sits on is unclean. Anyone she touches is unclean. For 12 years, she has been a ghost. No husband could hold her. No child could hug her. She has been barred from the temple, barred from the synagogue, barred from human contact. She is bankrupt, exhausted, and utterly alone. She knows she is not allowed to speak to a rabbi. She knows she is not allowed to be in this crowd. If they recognize her, they might stone her. But she tells herself one thing. If I just touch his clothes, I will be healed. She reaches through the thickets of legs. She stretches out a trembling hand. She risks everything for one desperate brush of her fingertips against the hem of his garment. Haptomai. The exact same Greek word used when Jesus touched the leper. Instantly, the bleeding stops. She feels in her body that she is freed from her suffering. She expects to slip away unnoticed. But Jesus stops. He stops the urgent mission for the pure to address the impure. Look at the pattern unfolding right in front of you. First, the leper. Then, the bleeding woman. Two individuals completely cut off from society, utterly disqualified by the strict religious laws of their day. And yet, when they collide with Jesus, he does not recoil. He does not pull his garments away to protect his purity. He leans in. He steps into their quarantine zone. He is showing them, and you, a God who is not disgusted by human brokenness. If you are finding value in this deep dive into Scripture, if it is helping you see the Bible with fresh eyes, take a second to hit the subscribe button. It helps this channel bring more of these stories to light. Now, let's go back to the dirt road, because there is a frantic father waiting, and the ultimate untouchable is about to enter the picture. Picture Jairus in this moment. Every second Jesus spends talking to this ritually unclean woman is a second his little girl slips closer to the grave. He is a man who has spent his entire life keeping the rules, staying pure, avoiding people exactly like her. And now, the Messiah is ignoring him to tend to a woman who shouldn't even be in public. Jesus looks at the woman. He calls her daughter. It is the only time in the Gospels he uses this specific term of endearment. He restores not just her health, but her place in the family of God. But while he is speaking, the worst possible news arrives. Men push through the crowd from Jairus' house. They look at the synagogue ruler and deliver the fatal blow. Your daughter is dead. Why bother the teacher anymore? The stakes have just completely shifted. We are no longer dealing with a skin disease. We are no longer dealing with a 12-year hemorrhage. We are dealing with death. Pay attention to this. Because in the ancient Jewish mindset, death was not just a tragedy. It was the ultimate source of ritual defilement. The historian Flavius Josephus and the rabbinic writings of the Mishnah classified a human corpse as the father of fathers of impurity. If you touched a dead body, you were unclean for 7 days. You had to undergo a complex purification ritual with the ashes of a red heifer. Death was the ultimate contaminant. Jesus ignores the messengers. He looks at the shattered father and says, "Do not be afraid. Just believe." They walk to the house. The professional mourners are already there, wailing and playing flutes. Jesus clears the room. He takes the father. He takes the mother. He walks into the bedroom where the lifeless body of the 12-year-old girl is lying. He reaches out. He takes her by the hand. He touches the dead. Talitha cum. Little girl, I say to you, get up. And she does. Death flees. The impurity of the grave is completely eradicated by the touch of the author of life. But it gets stranger. Because Jesus is not done crashing funerals. Sometime later, Jesus is walking toward a town called Nain. As he approaches the town gate, a procession is coming out. It is a funeral. A young man has died, and he was the only son of his mother, and she was a widow. In the ancient world, this woman has just lost her past and her future. Without a husband, and now without a son, she has no financial security. She has no protection. She is completely vulnerable, marching toward the cemetery to bury her only hope. Jesus sees her. Luke tells us his heart broke for her. He walks directly toward the procession. He says 2 words to the weeping mother. Do not cry. And then, Jesus does something that would have made every religious leader in Judea tear their robes in horror. He walks right up to the wooden bier carrying the dead body, and he touches it. According to the law, touching the vessel that carries a corpse makes you just as unclean as touching the corpse itself. The pallbearers freeze in their tracks. The procession stops dead. Remember the sound of the bell on the dusty road. Remember the men picking up stones to enforce the distance. The ancient rule that demanded the clean must always separate themselves from the unclean. Jesus drops the stones. He shatters the distance. He steps directly into the center of the ultimate quarantine zone. Young man, I say to you, get up. The dead man sits up and begins to speak, and Jesus gives him back to his mother. If you are a parent, you already understand the theology of what is happening here. When your child is sick in the middle of the night, when they are covered in vomit, or mud, or blood, you do not stand across the room and yell instructions. You do not worry about getting dirty. You rush in. You pull them to your chest. The overwhelming force of your love completely obliterates your human instinct for disgust. This is exactly how God looks at you. When He sees your brokenness, your shame, your hidden sins, the things you think make you utterly disqualified from His presence, He does not recoil. He does not turn His face away in disgust. He does not require you to clean yourself up before He comes near. His purity is so powerful, it cleanses your impurity on contact. We have looked at a leper, a bleeding woman, a desperate father, and a grieving widow. And through them, we are left with three undeniable truths. First, Jesus reversed the flow of purity. For thousands of years, the law taught that if the clean touches the unclean, the clean gets infected. Jesus changed the math forever. When you collide with Christ, His holiness infects your brokenness. Second, the very thing you think disqualifies you is exactly what draws Him to you. The leper's disease, the woman's bleeding, the widow's dead son, these were the exact coordinates where the grace of God chose to land. And finally, this. This is not about being good enough. This is not about trying harder to keep the rules. This is not about hiding your mess from the Creator of the universe. This is about a Savior who loves you too much to leave you in isolation. You are never too far gone. You are never too broken. And you are never, ever too dirty for the touch of God. Which of these encounters, the leper, the bleeding woman, or the grieving widow in Nain, hit you the hardest today? Tell me down in the comments. And if you want to understand more about the radical, rule-breaking love of Jesus, click the video on your screen right now. I will see you there.